Okay, this is absolutely mind-blowing. This is my 6th attempt at this video. So if it actually makes it out, there's kind of some levity to the title or to the subtitle of this, A Dangerous Truth. So 4th attempt to the video. I got a good ways into this video. I got a phone call from somebody that I'm working with, someone that I'm helping to heal. And of course, I wasn't going to ignore that phone call. You know, I cannot bypass my purpose here for a couple of reasons. One, I can help people heal. I should be doing it. And two, it is the source of the many, many blessings in my life today. You know, the spiritual blessings, the material blessings, the emotional and mental blessings that I receive as a result of the work that we do here, the healing work that we do. So, attempt number 5 at this video. And I've almost just completely lost track of where we were going with this. So I'll try to start at the beginning. A brief story which will kind of lead you into the history of why we're here. I think that it's important that we understand how we got to the point that we're at. And about a year and a half ago, a good friend of mine who's known me as an energy worker, who's known me as a light worker, who knows me to specialize in dealing with dark energies like possessions, dark attachments, clearing haunted spaces and stuff like that, brought her sister to me. Her sister, she suspected, had a dark attachment. I met with her sister. I recognized this attachment right away. It was a consciousness that I had encountered before. And we set up a time and date to work with her. First attempt at clearing, everything went haywire. Doors were slamming in my house, lights were going on and off, fucking candles were getting blown out. I was working with my ting shawls, and the leather strap of my ting shawls broke, hit the ground. The strap broke 3 more times, and I started thinking, holy shit, I think I'm dealing with a demonic possession here. I probably should start doing some energetic push-ups and come back and deal with this situation later. A couple months later, we tried again. Turns out it was just a dark attachment. We got the dark attachment removed, and then we discovered that this young lady was a powerful psychic, you know, and removing the attachment, it just opened up all of her channels. The work that we did had yielded a magnificent gift, you know, and again, this is about a year and a half ago. Later on, that we worked way into midnight and beyond, so later on in the wee hours of the following morning, when I was doing my post-clearing meditation and my self-clearing, I received the gift of being able to channel. 4 celestial channels were opened up to me that morning. When I finally went to sleep later on that morning, my main spirit guide arrows had fully formed in my consciousness. And I would later discover that he was one of 4 ancients who had first visited the planet Earth around 60 million years ago, give or take a couple millennia, before humanity occupied Earth, back when the dinosaurs roamed. They were traveling from the other side of the universe. They had escaped a planet that had gone really, really sour, the way that our planet is, the direction that our planet's currently heading. And they created a new civilization. That civilization was a city that is a spaceship that we call Atlantis today. These 4 ancients came here. They thought that the atmosphere on the planet was perfect to support their kind, but the dinosaurs were here, so they left. They traveled around for a bit more. They came back again. The dinosaur population had been wiped out, so they decided to settle in here, and they'd actually planted the seeds that would grow into humanity. Many of the citizens of that great civilization eventually left, but the 4 great leaders of the ancient civilization of Atlantis, the ones that have revealed themselves to me, call themselves the Ancients, have stayed among humanity since the beginning. All throughout mythological history, you find consistencies in the stories from various cultures, you know, some synchronicities. You know, they said that this is my confirmation of who they are, and they've been here the whole time, and they're currently among us. and they reside among us in human form, in exceptionally humble, obscure fashion. These are beings with immense power and ability. However, they have not been exercising this power and this ability. They've been in hiding, and they've been in hiding for a reason. Because a couple millennia ago, powerful human factions had gained control over the planet, gained control over humanity, and these 4 distinct factions have been ruling the earth ever since. Some of you may have a slight sense of this. Some of you may be completely blind to it, like absolute 100% sheep. These factions are not our governments. Our governments work for these factions. These factions rule through fear. That is the only way that they rule, through fear, because fear is so powerful, and because the media, politics, economics, various devices that they use to transmit this fear onto the population are exceptionally effective, okay? So about channeling, within the last 8 months, well, the first 6 months of the last 8 months, my ancient guide had taken me through astral travels, lucid dreams, and deep meditations, where much of human history was revealed to me, and much of the truth of what's going on our planet right now has been revealed to me in great detail. The last couple of months, this information has gotten fuzzy. If you're a channeler, if you're a medium, you've noticed in the last couple of months that your connection's kind of fuzzy, that things are coming in kind of broken up. You might actually start feel like you're losing your ability to channel, you're losing your mediumship abilities, you're losing your psychic abilities. That is not the case. As in the title, 5G. Okay, so 5G, this wonderful technological advancement that the corporate powers have essentially thrust upon us, does not serve the purpose of connecting us quicker and allowing for the processing and the transformation of more information. In fact, quite the opposite. They now have greater control than ever over the information that we receive through various media outlets, through our devices and whatnot. But that is not actually the main purpose of the 5G data network. The main purpose of the 5G data network, which my guides revealed to me this morning, is actually to inundate the universal stream of consciousness with interference, so that mediums and channels are having difficulty in receiving information. Information's coming in unclear. The ruling factions of humanity are currently working really hard to interrupt that and even shut it off entirely, which is actually the purpose of the subtitle of this video, A Dangerous Truth. The reason why I subtitled A Dangerous Truth is because I feel like if this video isn't killed completely, and if people actually do get access to this video and start to assimilate some of this information, that it would put me and the people close to me in a dangerous situation, because the information, and I'm only giving bits and pieces of it here, if this information is assimilated, if it's used by the population at large, if it's used by the Commonwealth, it has the potential to completely overthrow the current powers, okay? A few things to look out for that I'm trying to warn you guys about. First and foremost, and this should be the most obvious, mainstream media. We need to start assuming that that all the information mainstream media conveys to us is absolute bullshit. Now, they're really tricky. The way it works is all information, all false information, contains bits and pieces of truth, or what we call half-truths. And this is what we understand about half-truths. They are whole lies. The purpose of the half-truths is to get us to buy the entirety of the lies they're trying to sell us. Other purposes include to incite fear, to incite panic, because this is how they rule. They rule by fear in various forms, by the way, and also to divide us, because a non-unified human species, and this is so basic, is easy to control, and they do it right under our noses, people. Just take a moment to think about that. How divided are we? How divided are we by politics? How divided are we by sexual orientation, by race, by religion, by economic class? How many different devices have been thrust into our existence that divide us? These things are not working for the common good, and we really need to start becoming more aware of this, okay? Sub-mainstream media, YouTube, and I almost feel hypocritical putting this video on YouTube after saying this. A lot of the shit that we're seeing on YouTube meant to distract. I'm targeting something very specific here, and this is going to upset a lot of you. Now, I want to make a disclaimer before I go into this that anger is a form of fear. It's meant to divide. It's meant to distract. It's meant to control. Okay, so if what I say next angers you, please just take a moment, process it, and ask yourself, is it possible that he's telling the truth? Just ask, is it possible? And at least start questioning the things that you're watching on YouTube. You know, and this is what I'm targeting specifically. Channelers, light and energy workers that are talking about vibrations and energetic shifts, whereas they convey this sort of hope or this sense that somehow humanity is going to be magically freed from the ruling factions. People, we're buying comfortable bullshit, okay? Here's what the ancients have revealed to me. There is no supreme alien race, including the ancients themselves that reside among us, that are going to save us. There is no political sector that's going to save us. There's no economic sector that's going to save us. What they're telling me is that we have to get off our asses and we have to do the work ourselves. And what we're talking about here is the mastery of fear. And this is the most dangerous part of this message. Fear can be mastered. It must be mastered in the individual. Once fear is mastered in the individual, the ruling factions no longer have a weapon to wield against us. It's just that simple. The media becomes ineffective, which is already happening. The media is starting to become ineffective in conveying their lies to us. A huge pivotal point was the suicide of Jeffrey Epstein worldwide. You know, the people are saying, no, this is bullshit. That man did not kill himself. Okay, if you think that you have the whole story, you absolutely do not. No one has the whole story. Political conspiracy theories, we're inundated with them. I was a devout nut job conspiracy theorist for a long time. Some people still view me as such. I try not to get too far on the extreme side of conspiracy theory. It's really easy to get dragged into that and to be manipulated by it. Many of the conspiracy theories that were out there, Agenda 21, mass depopulation, they're meant to distract us. They do contain elements of truth. Again, half-truths are meant to sell an entire lie, okay? Yes, there are elements of truth in a lot of the conspiracy theories that we might be seeing out there, but they're meant to distract and divide, okay? They're meant to divide people by drawing people into a specific belief system that contradicts other belief systems. That's, just keep an eye out on that. Just keep an eye on this stuff, you know, start questioning everything, you know, just kind of assume that everything's a lie, including everything that I'm saying here today. Just assume that it's a lie, but be open-minded at least, you know, and lean into your own wisdom. The most powerful controlling aspect of fear is that it cuts us off from the universal stream of consciousness. The universal stream of consciousness contains all information and truth in its entirety. However, if we're operating under emotions of fear, and fear comes in form of anger, jealousy, greed, depression, anxiety. Anxiety is just another word for fear that the pharmaceutical industry has coined to be synonymous with the word Xanax so they can sell us more fucking pills, right? Pills are not our solution, boys and girls. If you haven't figured that out yet, you've got a long ways to go. Keep trudging forward. The ancients have been in contact, at least Eros, my lead spirit guide, has been in constant contact with me lately. Unfortunately, the information has been coming through fuzzy. I've been working my butt off to clear it up, but there's just entirely too much atmospheric interference, you know, which again, if you're a channeler, you're experiencing that, you know. Something to ask yourself when channelers are saying, hey, you know, I'm getting real clear information, you might want to call bullshit on that, okay? Because the ruling factions of humanity are currently working very effectively to interrupt that stream of information to us. okay? Two reasons why I'm not getting into very specific details about the information that I've been sent is, one, it would put me in a very dangerous situation, I believe. It would also put people who assimilate that knowledge into a dangerous situation. I don't want to scare anybody, okay? Again, if anyone uses fear for personal gain, if anyone uses fear for control, that's pure evil. I don't want to engage in that kind of thing. In fact, quite the opposite. So the ancients, who have been working in obscurity for centuries now among us, they're gathering small followings in their various corners of the world. They've got a very specific formula for the mastery of fear. They have taught it to other obscure spiritual masters throughout the world. This formula is slowly but surely spreading. Okay, but the big problem is a lot of us we're relying upon politics, we're relying upon economics, we're relying upon our gurus. We're waiting for magic portals to open up to save us. We're waiting for powerful alien species to descend upon us. We're waiting for divergence in our timeline. We're not getting off our asses and doing the work ourselves, you know, and here's what the ancients are saying. You know, they have an effective formula for the mastery of fear, which will set humanity free. However, it cannot be forced upon us. We have to accept it willingly, and it requires work on our part. And the work is very uncomfortable. And this is what we've noticed, is that a lot of us would rather be sold some comforting bullshit than to do the work to actually heal and to master our fear and to set ourselves free. You know, so some things to really take into consideration here, boys and girls. God, there's so much. I want to get it out, you know, but it's also a jumbled mess in my mind because, again, I'm working from a human ego. You know, the ego creates interference itself. You know, it distorts facts, it distorts information. God, I just wish I could meditate with all of you. Just go into pure stream of consciousness with all of you and show you the things that have been shown to me. There are a lot of crazy, dangerous things really going on. And I'm going to address the coronavirus specifically here momentarily, but there are also a lot of good things going on. Understand that it might seem like there's an imbalance of dark and light in our world. There's not. You know, it just seems that way, and that's what the powers that be want us to believe, is that darkness is overcoming us and that we should feel hopeless and that we should just accept things the way they are, you know, and rely upon those in control. Don't. We should not, okay? The ancients have said that pretty clearly. Don't lean on your own wisdom, rely upon yourself. Spend some time quietly inside of yourself and try to tap into the stream of consciousness. Try to acquire this formula for the mastery of fear. If you come across someone who you think might have the formula, try to get it from them. You know, start asking in your meditations, how can I master fear? How can I set myself free? How can I set my brothers and sisters free? Myself and many, many others are working diligently on this. Over the years, I've grabbed just handfuls of people and taught them how to master fear. The formula was freely given to me. I freely give it to others, you know, but I'm only one person. And while there are many of us, there's not quite enough of us, at least not to accelerate this process of freeing humanity, you know. And I don't claim to be a guru of any kind. I'm a human being. I'm an energy light worker. I'm no better or greater than anybody else. I'm just trying to do my part, you know, to set things right with humanity and take direction from the ancients and take direction from the spirit. So the coronavirus, okay, if you're thinking the coronavirus is meant to distract, you're absolutely right. There are various theories on what it's meant to distract us from. None of them are actually accurate. There's a lot of misdirection in the mainstream and the sub-mainstream media. Whatever formulas or whatever ideas you might formulate on your own might be more accurate than what you're going to see in the media. It does pose a real threat. I'm not going to tell you guys, you know, not to worry about the coronavirus. You should wash your hands. You should be vigilant. Use hand sanitizer. Keep your hands away from your face. Avoid close contact with people. Work intuitively. One of the big things that the powers are working on is to keep us separated. And to some extent, we should. But there's going to come time when we need to gather. There's going to come time when we need to have close contact with each other. Lean on intuition for that. Don't allow fear to dictate when you should interact with others or how you should interact with others. Lean on your intuition, lean on your feelings. Don't let the media tell you. We can expect some quarantine to happen. There's a likely possibility in many areas of the country and the world that we're going to see martial law to some extent. Communications will be interrupted to some extent. There are big political and economic shifts happening. One of the things that we're seeing, they tell me, and I can't get too specifically into it, is we're seeing another, like the Commonwealth can really afford this, but we're seeing another upward shift in resources. We're seeing another upward shift in the world wealth. The wealthy and the powerful, they're getting a tighter grip. They're gaining more power. They're gaining more wealth. There's very little we could do to stop them, but we can prepare ourselves for when the time comes that we do take action. The biggest thing I think that they're telling me that we can do is to remain open-minded, you know, to be skeptical about everything that we hear. Even this video, be skeptical about everything that I'm saying, you know, lean into your own intuition about this stuff. Meditation. You know, if you're a Zen Dragon follower, you know that we're really big on silent meditation as a practice, twice a day, 5 to 7 minutes a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. This will really help to elevate your consciousness. This will really help you tap into the universal stream of consciousness. Excuse me. I'm starting to get like really internally heated up with the information and the energy that's flowing, and it's energizing, but also it's kind of exhausting me at the same time. What else? What else is it that I can give to you guys? Meditation, big thing. Meditation. Join meditation groups. Join spiritual groups. Be careful not to lean into or to become too loyal to any one spiritual practice or set of spiritual principles. There are basic spiritual principles which we should all be following, which is love and tolerance for others. Working with fear on an energetic and a spiritual level, not giving in to fear in its many forms. You know, anger probably being the most common one. If you find yourself being angered by something, stop, take a moment, investigate, ask yourself what's really going on, what it is that I'm afraid of. This is literally part of the formula that the ancients have created for us to get free, by the way. You know, what I just gave you was a golden piece of information. You know, when you get angry, when you get sad, when you get depressed, you know, when you feel jealousy, when you feel greed, you know, these are all forms of fear. Ask yourself, what's the truth? What's really going on? What is it that I'm really afraid of? And be careful not to push fear onto others. Okay, so fear is worse than a coronavirus, and it spreads faster than the coronavirus. So we need to be aware of what we're doing, what we're saying, what we're putting out into the world, what we're putting out into the universe. Do use common sense in protecting yourself with this coronavirus. One theory was that there was going to be mass arrest. There will be mass arrest. Again, the ruling factions of the world, or the reason why the ancients have been so obscure, is the ruling factions of the world have been hunting them. They want to find them. They want to take them out of the equation so that they can rule unrestricted. So there will be some secret arrests. There will be secret tribunals, but the people that will be held accountable, that the ruling factions will think are the ascended ones, the ancient ones, will not be. They will unfortunately be collateral damage innocents in some cases. In other cases, they will be actual criminals. You know, people that have committed crimes against humanity and that have hidden in the system, that have been under the protection of the ruling factions. That's a win for us, ladies and gentlemen. So keep that up in mind. There's a little bit of hope for you. I was really hesitant to make this video to begin with, and I'll close with this. I've been getting this information. 4 months ago, I got information about the coronavirus. All I was told was that a virus would spring up, that there would be mass panic, that the ruling factions would use it to distract us and use it to gain greater control. And they told me it would be within 3 to 4 months, which they were absolutely right about that. I did not want to be one of those YouTubers that want to capitalize on the fear and the panic and grab people's attention with a coronavirus title, you know, on my video, and use it for selfish gain. And with that being said, this is my promise to those of you who view this. Whether 10 people view it, I kind of expect this video is going to get crushed, that it'll be censored. But if 10 people view it, or 10 million people view this video and this information gets out there, I'm taken care of financially. I'm not greedy. I don't have financial fear. Advertisers and other interests which would try to offer me money to use this video for advertising or whatever agenda they have, I won't take a single red cent from any of them. And this message goes to my viewers, but it also goes to those of you who are attempting to manipulate and who are attempting to control the masses. I will not be your tool. I was your tool for too long. It will no longer occur. You know, I'm going to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And I'm going to recruit others who wish to grow spiritually, who wish to master their fear, to become part of the solution and stop being part of the problem, stop being part of the system. Brothers and sisters, be blessed. Begin to master your fears. Question everything. Lean into your own wisdom. Meditate, meditate, meditate. I cannot say it enough. Fucking meditate. Okay? As a practice, don't just do it every once in a while. Raise your vibration. Raise your consciousness. Become part of the stream. Become part of the movement. There is a movement. Rest assured in that there is a movement. The movement is powerful, and it is backed by ancient beings that are powerful. Okay? They will reveal themselves when we get off of our asses and start doing some work on ourselves and stop relying upon human powers. Thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe, hit share. Get this out there, please. I love you guys.